This week on Camera Talk, we are going to look at some legendary glass. Know what this is? This is the Minolta MDIII f2. Legendary.
You're a legend in your own mind.
For those who have been in the vintage lens world long enough anyway, you should know about this particular lens because it kicks ass.
Oh my god.
It can even compare to modern glass, and this is 1981.
No way.
Woo! So let's dig into this and find out a little bit more about Minolta's MD 85mm f2. So let's get it on.
Here I am, Vietnam.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. That's right. This week we're going like we were last week. I think last week we were in Japan, right? We're going back to Japan, mister. Woo! Back to Japan. So, what are we talking about? Well, this week we're into Minolta. Minolta is a very famous brand, in the camera world, or photography world, that is. They have a long history. This week we're looking at the MD line of, well, it's not the line, but one particular lens in the MD line, which is the 85mm f2. That's right. F2 may not sound like it's the fastest lens in the world, but it's plenty fast enough, and we'll find out why. And anyway, so Minolta, little quick history about Minolta. Have you heard of Minolta, mister? I mean, besides photography, they were also into photocopiers. Fax machines, printers. They made a number of different products out there. But of course, we're going to be focusing on the photography end of things here. But way back in 1928, in Osaka, Japan, Mr. Kazuo Tashima created a company, or founded a company, that looked at Japanese, German cameras. And actually, that's what the name of the company, which I can't even say it in Japanese, but that's what it translates to, is the Japanese-German camera shop. And, in 1931, he basically took the phrase mechanisms, instruments, optics, and lenses by Tashima, and basically created an acronym which translated to Minolta. We got the M from mechanism, we got the IN from instruments, we got the O from optics, we got the L from lenses, and then the TA from Tashima. So you put it all together and you have Minolta. There you go. For those who know or care to know where the name came from. Their next claim to fame, actually they have a whole laundry list of claims to fame, but one that kind of shook the camera world was Autofocus, right? 1985, the Maxim 7000 became the first autofocus camera out on the market. Wow, huh? Today everything's considered autofocus. Even though I have autofocus, like my forget the name of my camera here. The Sony A7R II that I have, as well as my A7, my Canon M50, which is recording this video right now, are all autofocus. I keep wanting to say manual focus because even though they're autofocus, I tend to use them more on a manual focus basis because I use a lot of vintage lenses. That's right, vintage, mister. So where was I going with that? Anyway, that was their claim to fame. Now, in 2003, they merged with Konica, who's another famous Japanese lens and camera manufacturer. who also made photocopiers and stuff like that too. Seems the Japanese love to dive into diversified businesses. But anyway, they merged with them 2003, and then 3 years later, they gave up the ghost. Konica and Minolta just said, screw this, we're out.
Screw you guys, I'm going home. Good! You deserve to die, you little bastard!
And got out of the photo business anyway. And that's when Sony picked up the loose ends of the Minolta line and began, creating its own history, groundbreaking ventures off into the photography world.
The wonderful world of Cameraland.
But anyway, talking about this lens. So this is the MD line. They had a number of, Minolta had a number of different lines that were out there. But the MD is kind of where they peaked. And
I haven't even begun to peak.
this was considered their best of the best, so to speak. Now, my particular sample here is rather beat up. There's all kinds of dents and slams and drops and chips, and even the focus ring has been damaged in such a way that they had to remove it and replaced it with this foam ring, which is okay. It works. Looks fugly. But do you know what fugly means, mister? I bet you want to know, don't you? Well, you'll find out soon enough. What kind of sounds are you making? Are you trying to say that fugly means it blows? Well, that's kind of what it does mean. But anyway, it's the glass that's important, right? That's what makes the lens much more so than its appearance. So it may look ugly, but the results are stupendous. And again, that's what created the reputation of it being legendary. So regardless of what it looks like, it's a great lens. Sharp. That's what everybody looks at these days, right? Oh, how sharp is it? How sharp is it? Well, this thing, especially for 1981, was about as sharp as sharp can be. And it's so sharp that it could actually compare to 85s that we have today.
The fuck out of here.
The other 85s that I have that are more modern are the Canon EF 85 millimeter and 1.8, and my Zeiss, Sony Zeiss Batis 85 1.8 as well, and which are both faster lenses than these, but you would be challenged to figure out which of the three is actually the sharpest. Now, of course, Zeiss and the Batis name have quite a reputation. But so does this little guy. And look at the size of it. I mean, this is the adapter. So if I take that off, you look at that. That looks like a 50 millimeter, doesn't it? But yet it's an 85. It's a nice and compact. The construction. All right, chill out on your blowing around, mister. You discover something new in life, right? Yeah. So, how is it constructed? Well, it's 6 elements in 5 groups. Its close focus is 85 centimeters, so it's an 85 millimeter. Focusing in as close as 85 centimeters, so 85, 85. 6 aperture blades. Now, again, those are a common number. And when you shoot wide open, as I do, it makes no difference at all, because of course your bokeh balls are very circular, or other out of focus area. Light points are going to be circular. You stop down, you're going to get hexagon shaped, nut shaped bokeh balls. Some people dig that, think it's cool. Others don't. I don't have much of an opinion either way. I think they're okay. I'd rather see them circular myself. So which is why I shoot wide open more often than not, and why it's important to me to have a lens that is pretty sharp wide open. Yeah. Boy, you're full of all kinds of energy today, aren't you? Well, that's because lunchtime's coming, right? What is it, 10 after 11 in the morning? Yeah, you're ready for something to eat, aren't you? So, weight. It's not super light, but it's not super heavy either. It's 285 grams. So, you know, you could plunk this on your camera and walk around with it most of the day without any kind of issues. So anyway, it's his, you know, the typical Minolta standards on this. You know, contrasty, colors are great, so forth and so on. The only real downside to this may be the, all right, chill out, mister. Stop with all the interruptions. Fringing, you know, for again, backlit, you know, scenes and whatnot, you may get some purple fringing in there. Ew! That may or may not bother some of you, you know, in today's, you know, photo editing software world. You can always correct that kind of stuff. If you want to correct it in camera, just stop down. F4 basically is where it completely disappears. Now that's where its basic sweet spots are. You know, as much as open, you know, there'll be a little vignetting and this and that. 2.8, I mean, it is F2. At 2.8, just one stop further. It clears up a lot of stuff. It even gets sharper. All the way F4, you know, in that range, you can see quite a bit of difference. You know, its sharpest is, you know, F8. But I can't remember any time I've ever shot anything at F8. And I know a lot of people do. But for me in particular, I'm wider. I'm a wide guy.
Not my cup of tea.
So I like the wide open. So anyway, it's a nice lens. Let's just say that. If you get a chance to get yourself a copy, I would recommend that you do so. Now let me show you some sharpness by getting you again a shot of the end of the kit lens that I have on my Canon M50. So let me focus in on the nameplate, which is the 15-45 EFM lens. So let's see, right about there. Ooh, crystal sharp. All right, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. So on my M50, my Canon M50, EFM 15-45, that is, you know, focusing in on the letters there. Let me give you a 5.6 just to show you. Actually, hang on, let me boost my ISO so you can see everything clearly. Alright, let me also bring down the shutter speed. Alright, so again, let me focus in as tight as we can. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. All right, so that was f5.6. Okay, so you can see how that difference between f2 and f5.6. And as usual, show you some shots of this dude here, Mr. making all kinds of disrupting noises. And you want your own YouTube channel someday. Ha! F2, Dylan McDonald. And how about this guy at, what else? F4. Let's say F4. We'll give you a couple shots of F4. That's right. Okay, so now that you had f2 and f4, what else can we say? Would you recommend this lens, Dylan? Yes, it's a highly recommended lens.
9 doctors out of 10 doctors probably agree.
Good bang for the buck. Not very expensive, especially compared to today's 85s. So anyway, what else can we talk about? How about our little plug for Luminar? Luminar AI, Luminar Neo. Luminar Neo is their latest, greatest one. It kind of includes all the stuff from Luminar 4 and Luminar AI all in one package. So, AI is for what? What does AI mean? What does AI mean, mister? Artificial intelligence. That's right. That's what this software has. Artificial intelligence. It thinks for you. Daddy likes that too, right? If you can think for Daddy, he doesn't have to think so hard.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
So if you want power line removal, you want dust and spot removal, you want scene relighting, these kinds of things, the software can analyze your photo. You click on the button and it'll get rid of all your power lines for you, or all your spots and this and that. In the old days, not that the old days were that long ago, for a lot of software it still is the days, you have to basically use the brush tool and brush over all your power lines or your dust spots or whatever else, and then hit erase and hope for the best. Luminar Neo will do this for you. Just one click of the button, and it will analyze everything and do all the brushing for you and remove it for you. How good is that, right? So, if you want yourself a copy, which I recommend, it's about $70. But if you want to save $10, $10, how about you click below? That's right, as Dylan says, you click below to save $10. And that $10 is a little kickback for us too. We like kickbacks, right? Yeah, kickbacks. So next, how about you help us get exposed to the world? And how do we do that through YouTube? Through subscriptions, right? You like subscriptions, mister? So how about you subscribe? That's right. And as Dylan would say over here, subscribe. And you want to do a two-hand one, mister? Just for the power. Subscribe. He loves subscribers. And along with subscribers, the algorithm also loves a thumbs up too. Give us a thumbs up, man. Do you like the thumbs up girls? Let's show off the thumbs up girls. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. That's enough, huh? Okay. And last thing I just want to talk about is about staying safe. Remember, you belong here, right? That's right. You belong here at Modesty Photography, where we aim to save you money, give you tips and tricks on little photography methods and the ins and outs, especially beginners out there. We don't want to see you struggle like we did. We struggled, didn't we? But, we're here to help anyway. So this was Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. That's right. So come on back next week. Stay safe out there. Stay away from that Omicron, which there's a new version out now too, which they're suspecting may bring on a new freaking Greek alphabet letter. So we're never going to get rid of this damn virus, are we? Anyhow, so come on back next week. Stay safe. Stay shooting your camera. And we'll see you in the next video. All right? So you're going to say bye-bye? Bye-bye.
Here I am.